returns, the city on a hill, the cradle of liberty, the Puritan city, and the Athens of America. Also, Beantown. All of them, bar that last, sound all too appropriate. Boston, you see, is a quiet, gorgeous, gracious city that has seen more history than most can hope to remember. It was established in 1630 by early English settlers and has seen Paul Revere's Wild Ride at Midnight, the Boston Tea Party, the Boston Massacre, the Boston Siege, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But this is not a history lesson. It's just that to walk around its beautiful roads, to stop and stare at the remarkable architecture that flanks them, the fall foliage that sets it aflame, is to know that you're in a very special corner of America, one that acknowledges and cherishes its past. It's also vibrant, energetic, home to seats of higher learning, and it's fun. Remember, there are three things that Boston loves: beans, baseball, and the bounty of its bays. The latter, believe me, I will get to. But first, there was so much I hoped to see, hoped to do. I had to miss the famous college across the river, but I made it to the Commons, to Beacon Hill, and to the Omni Parker House. This is not just a hotel. This is history that you can walk through. It is the oldest of Boston's inns and the longest continuously operating hotel in and across the United States. It's where Charles Dickens stayed while touring with the Christmas Carol, and he had good company: Hawthorne, Emerson, Longfellow. They walked where I walk today. And while it is ornate and impressive, they no doubt headed straight to the dining room too. Another grand setting, one which stays true to its past. And really, it's more of a past than I could have anticipated as I settled in with Chef Jerry Tice.
I mean, I'm sort of sitting in the midst of history, right?
Yeah. A lot of history in this dining room. Famous chefs have worked here at the hotel as well as famous guests. Table 40 at the end of the dining room, that's where JFK proposed to Jackie.
Really?
At Saturday night dinner clubs where the Poet Society would be here, and Charles Dickens, Hawthorne, a lot of famous poets and writers of that era. You know, we've had some famous people that have worked here as well. Malcolm X worked here, Ho Chi Minh worked here.
Yes, well, I need hardly add any endorsement to that, but here goes anyway. The Parker House is also responsible for two very famous dishes in America. One is simply a pre-meal filler, the Parker House roll, a dinner roll that has traveled well beyond the reaches of its city.
You see ours are hand pulled, so the bottom here we call a smile. That hand pulled, which we do, and then butter goes inside. That's why they're so buttery and tasty.
It may not look like much, but it's a thing. The other thing is a dessert, but that we're getting to in a bit. For now, a piece of fish instead, which also has a history with this hotel. A buttery, flaky, beautifully crusted piece of Boston scrod. Yes, scrod.
Boston scrod originated here at the Parker House. Being native New Englander, scrod, spelled S-H-C-R-O-D, means haddock. And scrod with the C means cod. Okay. But usually it is a small cod that we use. It's marinated with a little bit of cream, white wine, salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, and then it's breaded with Ritz cracker crumbs, which are very buttery crackers. New England famous as well.
So far, so fantastic. Then this sandwich, one that Chef Tice is particularly proud of. A solid short rib sandwich of hearty, beautifully braised meat with cheddar, arugula, and caramelized onions served on brioche. This is a meal in one, a honey of a home run. And then this, a classic of the area. There's no point visiting New England without immersing yourself in its seafood, and no point at all in starting with anything other than the lobster roll. And this one is all you could ask a lobster roll to be. Fat, juicy, bursting with the good stuff.
I mean, sweet, juicy New England lobster. Seriously, who needs candy?
Fresh lobster meat, chives, celery, mayonnaise, a little bit of lemon juice, and a griddled brioche hot dog roll. For us in New England, we're very fortunate to have great seafood and great abundance of seafood. New England cooking goes back to like old family roots.
Speaking of roots, you may recall I had mentioned a dessert, and of course, since we're in Boston, what else could it be but the Boston cream pie? And here's the thing, the state's signature dessert was also invented right here at the Parker House. It is a seemingly irresistible confection of your not-so-basic sponge, your not-so-basic custard, some chocolate ganache and almond flakes.
It's really not a pie, it's a cake.
Right.
But it was called a pie because technically the original one was baked in pie tins.
Okay.
And Boston being competitive as it always is, there was a Washington state pie which was chocolate. So we came up, the original originated here at the Parker House was the Boston cream pie.
And by the way, it's been assembled in this very spot pretty much since the first day. Random trivia, Ho Chi Minh back in the day was on bakery duty too. I couldn't wait to try mine. See how pretty it is and all moist and stodgy. It's my kind of pudding.
If I haven't said it before, please let me reiterate it again. There is something so special in having a dessert that you have now discovered you are going to remain a fan of. But to have it in the place where it was created, before it became the rage, before it became a state dessert, I have to say that is very special. That is something that does not happen every day.
Well, that's kind of incredible that a single place saw so much, created so much, and is still standing tall. And what a way to learn it all a bite at a time. But remember, Boston is the sort of city with a little something for everyone. It may have been a late bloomer by New York and San Francisco standards, but it's caught up fast. And my next place is the perfect example. Myers+Chang abuts Boston's Chinatown, and while they do have something in common with their neighbors, it's not a lot. The restaurant itself is a cheerful, open, happy place that's not serving the usual on the walls or on the plates, as Joanne Chang is quick to assure me.
Myers+Chang is a collaboration between me and my husband. I grew up on Taiwanese soul food.
Right.
He has eaten Chinese food all of his life, but more Americanized style. So we wanted to join together and create a place that reflects both of our backgrounds. So this, we hope, is a fun place that people can enjoy Asian food that's got a little bit of a twist.
She weren't kidding. I start with something that speaks to the marriage that led to the marriage of influences. A plate of chicken and waffles. Exceptional chicken and waffles.
This is an example of where Christopher and I kind of put our heads together. So he has spent a lot of time in LA, and in LA, chicken and waffles is a very common soul food dish. So he wanted to see if we could come up with an Asian version. So we have a waffle that's made with sesame and ginger. There's a sesame honey butter on top, and then the chicken is marinated with turmeric and curry paste. Serve it with a surprising sauce, which has got some sambal and some garlic.
Oh my
and
God.
some vinegar, and it's nice and bright.
I have to taste it.
See?
Oh, that is great sauce.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising.
Sweet and salt and hot and hearty. The waffles are dense and delicious, the chicken crisp to a turn, and the sauce, well, that could be the start of a very intense love affair.
The perfect plate. It is the perfect absolute comfort plate. Chicken, fried crisp, sesame waffles, sesame and honey butter, hot sauce of the kind you're not likely to get anywhere else, all together. I mean, tell me if there is a faster road to happiness, and I'll take it. Right now, I'm not convinced there is.
Next up, a sexy little somtam, their green papaya slaw, crunchy, tart and kicky, but I moved on and passed because there were their Sichuan shrimp, served whole and heady. Numbing peppercorns and chili and salt and oil, so good, so Moorish, so made with our palates in mind. But then again, I could say the same for everything else I got to try. It's a clever menu, full of fun, and one that's clearly looking to mix things up.
It's Szechuan peppercorn, and it's chili, and it's garlic, and and chili oil. We blend it all together, and it's supposed to be a little bit numbing, but not too much.
If this sauce is not bottled and sold to the world, you are doing the world an enormous disservice. So people come here, have it, and then join the petition.
And And that's not all. There's such deliciousness as wok-charred octopus with sweet corn and sriracha butter. Again, that wonderful play of contrast, sweet, hot, salt and smoke, seen also in the plump wok-roasted mussels with lemongrass and garlic toast spears. I don't know where they get their woks or what they do with them, but I want one too.
We're really lucky. We have an amazing chef. Chef Karen, and she has an Italian background, she has a love of Asian food, and she's trained in a kitchen. So she's got a lot of different talents that she brings to our menu. And so working with her, we're able to create flavors that are still a little bit familiar to guests, but introduce a couple new elements. I would say in the last 5 or 8 years, I really have seen that Asian cuisine and Southeast Asian cuisine has really exploded in Boston. I find that we get people from all over who come in here and they've never experienced some of these flavors before, and they love it.
And then finally, one of their signature plates, their nasi goreng, an overrated dish, or so I thought until I took a bite. This is not normal nasi goreng. This is amazing.
Talk about slam dunk after slam dunk after slam dunk. I'm just going to say it. I've not had better nasi goreng anywhere. I have just not had it. I don't know what is in it. What do you put in it?
This has been on our menu since day one. Yes, it's an Indonesian fried rice that's cooked with a terasi paste. Really pungent. It's like a paste that's made with shrimp paste, a lot of garlic, ginger, a lot of chili, a lot of pepper. When they make it, we have to open up all the doors because it really does like sit. But you add a little bit of it when you're making the fried rice, and it makes it so flavorful.
Whatever it is, it works wonderfully. I have been blown away by Boston and I'm just 2 meals in. So what's next? Well, I suspect something very traditional to the area. But to find out what that is, you'll have to join us in just a bit.